Hello YouTube, this is the last video, whatever this is, I think video 5 or something like that, in my series on my why you shouldn't buy an electric unicycle series. Because I've torn my brand new MTen3 all to bits, and let me show you all the reasons why you shouldn't buy anything made out of China like this, because they're all equally shitty. So the thing I want to talk about is the plastics, and they are pretty horrific. Alright, so the first thing I want to talk about is assembly. And assembly on this thing was, wow. I mean, astonishingly bad. Okay, so right here, here, and there's the other one right there. Those are the 4 standoffs that secure the battery pack into this space right there. They're flimsy, you know, they're really skinny, you know, they're super thin, you know, they're thinner than a pencil thin. So, you know, they're flimsy right off the bat. And then, of course, they're held in by these micro tiny screws that are, what, 1.5 centimeters long, and really small. So, you know, their holding power is minimal, to say the least. Well, in this case, this screw over here, when I went to take it out, it wouldn't come out, because there's no threads in the plastic. It's literally been, you know, totally wallowed out. All the threads are gone. And so I had to use pliers to literally just pull it straight out. This screw right here was put in crooked, I mean literally at an angle like this, and the hole is that way. You know, why whoever it was to put that in there couldn't put the screw in straight is an absolute mystery to me. But they didn't. They put it in diagonal like this, and it was barely hanging in there. So all I can do is scratch my head. Dude, seriously? This one here is got good threads in it. This one is just on the verge of stripping out. Several other ones here are also stripped out or on the verge. So what I'm going to do for every single hole that was threaded with a screw in it is I'm going to put the screws back in those holes, and then I'm going to heat the screw up with my soldering iron to melt new threads in, because they're all shit already right out front, right from the front door. You know, this thing has literally not been ridden, and most of the screws in plastic are stripped out. All I can say is, dudes, good grief. Can you really not do such a shitty job? Because, damn. Alright, so, next thing. This plastic doesn't say anywhere on it that it is ABS. There is no stamps anywhere on the plastics saying what it is, and anything that's of decent quality, you almost always will find some kind of a stamp on them telling you what it is. So just by looking at it and the feel of the plastic, I can tell you it's ABS, and I can also tell you that it's not glass reinforced in any way. It's just plain Jane ABS. So it's weak, it's brittle, it'll break easy. And, you know, 2 cents worth of glass fiber in the plastic would make it, oh my god, so much stronger, and it's not done. You know, 2 cents. There's nothing here that I'm going to talk about these plastics that's going to cost thousands of dollars. It's going to literally add 25, 30 cents to the cost. Nothing. Alright, so most people that have had issues have had cracking around this area right here. And basically it's because these little plastic standoffs, they're made of about, well, it's the same thickness right here, which is about 2 millimeters thick. It's really thin plastic. And all the stresses of the entire wheel is all carried by those 6 bolts, and all into those 6 little thin pieces of plastic. So, of course, it's going to break right here. Duh. All they would have had to have done is made this shit thicker, and that problem would have probably been solved. But they didn't. You know, they totally chinched on it. Let's make that shit as thin as we possibly can, as thin as we can get away with it. And then there's things like this. So you see like this mold blob in here. You know, their molds were obviously, well, piss poor. Very, very low quality, and you can see that in the way plastics fit together. They're not nice, tight fits. You know, like there's a piece of plastic that wraps around here, and well, it doesn't fit very well. It's pretty loose. So there's lots of things like this where you know, they simply cut corners and cut corners and cut corners to make the thing as cheap as possible. You know, to get that extra 0.001 cents out of it. So So like in the case of this right here, I am going to shave these things off flat, and then I am going to take a piece of aluminum, 1/4 inch 6061 specifically, that's more or less that shape, and I'm going to epoxy it down to the plastic, and I'm going to make it bigger, so it's going to extend up to about like right here. Because, you know, this is all open space in here. There's just wheel on either side of it, but, you know, this is just all open plastic. So I'm going to make it a bigger piece in here. That's going to be 1/4 inch, like 6061. It's going to be all epoxied down, and it's going to have that bolt pattern in it, so that I have lots of rigidity and lots of strength in this area, because this is where they break, right here. So it's going to fix that problem, and I'll bet you it never has that problem ever again. Something else will break, you know, like these flimsy little standoffs that they could have just added another 3% more plastic to them, which would have cost, I don't know, 0.001 cents more, but yet they would have been so much more rigid. Why? Come on, China. This is not rocket science. And like their quality control is just atrocious. You know, like over-torquing screws, stripping out holes. That's just not hard to not do. And yet they do. Or like this. You know, this is that disable button that's up at the handle. You know, so when it's on, you can pick it up and hold the button and the motor doesn't run. Anyway, you know, the heat shrink on here is totally split open. I don't know how they pulled this off, but somebody split the heat shrink on that wire, so now it's completely bare and exposed, and nobody bothered to correct it. It's like, oh, well, good enough, ship it. You got to tell me, you can't tell me that somebody didn't see that. So I'm pretty sure they did. They just didn't give a shit. And this is the sort of crap that you get out of China. And all I can say is, guys, you got to do better. Maybe it's our fault because, you know, we want cool electronics and stuff like that, and we don't want to pay a fortune for them, which I'd still have to say $900 is a lot of money. And especially for it's a steaming turd like this, $900 for an absolute steaming turd, piece of crap, low grade quality in every way possible, or nearly every way possible, except for where you can't get away with it. Yeah, $900 for a steaming turd is a lot of money. I would be really surprised if, you know, the manufacturer has $200 in these things. I would be really surprised. Because it's probably not $200 in it. They cut every corner they could. Quality on these things is raunchy bad. Really, really bad. So if you're looking to buy an electric unicycle, my first suggestion to you is don't. Because these things are made by the lowest quality level of labor you can have. They are made with low quality components. The moldings, the electronics, the motors, everything about them, well, except for like the Sanyo cells, everything about them is just really, really shitty. Very, very poor quality. And so don't, because you're going to buy the thing and it's going to break on you. Because that's the nature of these things. They're just really, really poor quality. However, if you're someone like me who has a certain level of fun factor and you're going to be modding stuff and fixing things anyway, well, go ahead and buy one, because you're going to be fixing things and you're probably going to be repairing stuff and you're probably going to be modding something, and they are fun. So for that perspective, buy one. But if you're the person who wants something that's reliable and works and doesn't break on you, yeah, you shouldn't buy one, because that's a bad choice. Well, anyway, that's the last of these videos. Hopefully that helps somebody. This is De-bodgery saying, hey folks, stay away from that damn SARS virus. Don't let your body get sick with COVID-19. Stay well, stay healthy, be good to each other, treat each other with compassion and respect. And yeah, that's about it.